Hey guys, what's up? It's Pat with MACkite here today to talk about the all-new 03 Cabrinha Nitro. Alright guys, this is Pat with MACkite Just got back to Michigan. Just got the new Cabrinha Nitro 9 in stock. That's to the net today. It's only about 22 to 25 knots. So far, first impressions of the kite. Super light bar pressure. Really all the power in the bar is coming from the last kind of third of the pole shooting in on the kite. Loop super quick, light in the hands. So far, first couple tacks, really enjoying it. Already starting to throw some little loops on it. Still to see how this thing works out. Let's keep going. All right, so yeah, I've gotten a couple sessions on the new Nitro now. Really been enjoying the kite. I guess first off, we'll start out, what is the Nitro? It is Cabrinha's all new big air kite for this year. So it's a 5-strut, higher aspect kite, kind of made for just kind of boosting really high, doing kite loops, all of the above. So far, I've been really impressed with this kite. I've hopped on it and felt right at home. It kind of falls right in line with those other kites I've been riding this year, like the Rebel SLS, the Elevate XS, the Air Rush Lift. So really it's right at home in that 5-strut big air category. Honestly, we'll save some of the comparisons, I guess, for some verses down the road, but really fits right in line, right on par with everybody else in the market, I'd say. I don't think it's necessarily like crazy standout above the rest, but I definitely think it is right on par with everybody this year. So really, I am quite happy with the kite. As far as this flying characteristics of the kite, what the bar feels like, it's pretty light in the bar actually. It's probably the lightest bar pressure of any Cabrinha kite I've ridden, which kind of a step back from their traditional design philosophy from what I've ridden and what I've seen. Usually I'm used to Cabrinha bars being a little bit heavier in the bar pressure. This is honestly probably one of the lighter bar pressure feels as far as the 5-strut big air kites that I've ridden. It's lighter weight than the Rebel SLS, so I've been riding. Pretty comparable to the XS, I think I'd say. The XS is a little bit on the light side. So really am kind of impressed with that take on design and kind of going away from that traditional Cabrinha feel, which you might like it, you might not like it, but that's up to you guys. It's buyer's choice, yeah. You don't need to be doing pull-ups or anything like that before your session to get pumped up. You just hop out in the water right from your car and go. So the Nitro is the only kite in Cabrinha's lineup with their full Apex frame. I think it's Apex. I think the materials that's what it is. I could be wrong, Kato, if I am. Just put it down, put a little pop-up correcting me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I believe it is 100% their new Apex frame, which is their lightest weight material they're making. Just to kind of touch on that, I did weigh this kite. I also weighed a Rebel SLS 9 meter, just kind of give a comparison. The Nitro 9 meter came in at 7.1 pounds, where the Rebel SLS came in at 6.65 pounds. So it's about a half-pound difference per size from the Apex material to the SLS material. So just kind of keep that in mind. If that's something that's really important to you, you want the lightest thing out there, might not be the right kite for you, but honestly, flying them in the air, it's just as fast in the air, just as reactive. So really am still pretty impressed with it, even though if it is coming in a little bit heavier. Flying the kite, I don't notice that. So I wouldn't say it's a make or break there as far as kite performance, in my opinion. Some pros and cons of this kite. Flies pretty far forward in the window. Could be a pro for some people, could be a con for some people. I did tend to notice in some of like the load and pop tricks that I normally do, it did drive that kite really far forward in the wind window, which can kind of give you a little bit of a drop feeling, I guess, almost if you're doing like kind of more of a traditional like loaded back roll, loaded front roll. That kite slides forward in the wind window and doesn't really catch you as much on those tricks as I'm used to with some of the other 3-strut kites I'm riding that sit a little bit deeper in the wind window. So that's kind of a pro and cons of this kite, just depending on what you're looking for. Some people love the way that, some people actually are like that feeling of a kite, some people don't. So take that kind of as you will. Some other stuff, it is a 5-strut higher aspect kite. Relaunch on it, it was okay, not great in my opinion. Had no problem just holding one of the outside lines, relaunching. It did eventually roll over for me. It wasn't like an instant pop-up launch like some of the more compact 3-strut kites that I've been riding, like a Evo SLS, Elevate RS, or even in the Cabrinha line, the Moto X. The relaunch on those kites is slightly better just due to the arc and shape of those kites when compared to something that's a little bit flatter, a little more high aspect like the Nitro. Really, who would I want to give this kite to? I say really anybody kind of trying to push their big air boundaries. The kite's a really confidence firing kite. I went out, I think on my 2nd or 3rd tack on the kite, I was already throwing kite loops on it, which usually it takes me a little bit longer to warm up to a kite and really feel good enough to want to actually do that with it. So I can say it was a really comfortable feeling kite to me. It felt at home on it right away within a couple of tacks versus some of the other kites it takes a session or two for me to actually get my confidence up on the kite and get a feel for how that kite's going to react in the air. So they really did a good job with this kite as far as making it feel at home for me. That might not be the same for everybody else, but as far as what I'm used to riding, the way I like a kite to feel in the air, it checked a lot of the boxes for me that I look for as far as just kind of the bar pressure, turning speed, and bar feel, I guess I'd say, is kind of separate from pressure almost. Even though it's a lighter pressure kite, I can still feel in the bar where that kite is at in the air. And so I guess, who else is it for? I would not surf with the kite at all. I would not bring it in the waves. It sits too far forward in the window. Anytime you run at it, it keeps going out. So it's gonna drop out of the air on you. All around free ride, it definitely will cross over into that for you if that's what you're looking for. I wouldn't necessarily sell it as an all around kite. It's a big air specific kite. For most free riders, a big air specific kite really is what they're doing majority of the time. But if you are that person that dabbles in the waves, foiling, stuff like that, I wouldn't put you on a Nitro. I would, if you're looking to stay in the Cabrinha line, I would probably push you more towards either a Switchblade or a Moto X. Those are gonna be kind of where that, in the Cabrinha category, that's where those kites fall in and kind of make up for the Nitro. And that being said, I wouldn't call the Nitro this a slimmed down Switchblade. It's a completely different kite. It doesn't feel even remotely close to a Switchblade. So if you're someone who's looking for a Switchblade, but that lightweight material, and you want that bar pressure, you like the way that park and ride feels with a Switchblade, this isn't it. It's all fast turning, light bar pressure, big jumping kite. I mean, still, I would say it has really similar hang time, stuff like that compared to the Switchblade and the boosting, but the kite feel is completely different. It's night and day difference between the two. This, as far as they're complete opposite ends of the spectrum as far as bar pressure goes. Well guys, this has been Pat with MACkiteboarding.com covering the all new Cabrinha Nitro. Let me know if you guys have any questions down below. I'll do my best to get to the answers in the comment section. If not, I know Aaron and Kata both will do a good job of getting to you there as well. Yeah, leave a like, subscribe to our channel. Check us out if you have any other questions. Hit us up at the shop either via email, live chat, or phones.